領域展開。無料空所。
What's up, YouTubers? It's your boy Spectre here, and today I just want to talk to you guys about Final Fantasy 16. Recently, I've been playing Final Fantasy 16 on Final Fantasy mode, and that's been something quite interesting, honestly. I haven't really got that far into it, really. I think I got back to the point where I just met Sid, and I think I stopped around that point. I just met Sid, not just met Sid. I know I got to the point of fighting Garuda, and then just kind of stopped there. And yeah, sorry if that's spoiler, by the way. I should have said this before, but this is going to be a spoiler. You know, if you haven't played the game, then you probably shouldn't watch this video. Alright, I always forget to mention it in the very beginning of the video, but alright, I mentioned it now. Just don't say I didn't warn you, alright? But I kind of got a thought when I was playing this game through. And honestly, it's Annabella. Yeah, her. She's evil. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. This hoe is evil. I gotta call it like I see it, bro. She's straight up evil. Like, she's more evil than Ultima. She's the true villain in this story. The way that she treated Clive was crazy work. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Crazy work. I ain't never in my life have seen such a terrible mother in a video game. I ain't never. I kid you not. I cannot think of a single video game right now where the mother has been as evil as this one in Final Fantasy 16. Annabella cares nothing for kids. None of her kids, just people in general, bro. If you can't advance her social standing in this world, she don't give a damn about you. You're nothing to her. And like, she disrespects Clive every chance she gets. I kid you not. Like, you got the guards literally feeling bad for Clive in this, bro. They're looking like it's not his fault that the Phoenix didn't choose him. She didn't even talk. This is an embarrassing moment for Clive, bro. Like, I'm not saying like in a bad way for him. Well, it was in a bad way for him, but you guys get what I mean, right? Basically, she just act like he didn't even exist. Like, that's fucked up. That's literally your flesh and blood. She gave birth. He's the first child. She doesn't even want to acknowledge his existence. That's some crazy ass shit. That just goes to show you right there. Annabella's character was already presented to the player as what kind of person she is. You're not supposed to like her. You're not going to like her. You might want to get used to it right now. Annabella continues throughout the story to just push this narrative of Clive is useless. He can't do nothing. We don't need him. Joshua is the best one. And she hates Clive. Because if you already played the game, you know the story is that Clive got good health and he had a good body, but he wasn't chosen as a dominant. All right, well, he had awakened at that point. And then Joshua was the Phoenix dominant, but had a weak body. And from Annabella's eyes, it's like, why? You know, it's like God plays some kind of cruel trick on her in her own eyes. We have Clive, who's trained, who knows how to use a sword, healthy. He's ready to go. He's ready to fight as a knight or Rosaria. And then you have Joshua, who's the dominant, but has a weak body. He'll probably have health problems in the future. And honestly, Annabella was she was terrible. Like, when I started thinking about it more and more about Annabella and how she was through this entire game, and the more I started thinking about it, like, damn, she was doing some evil shit. Like, I'm not kidding. She was doing some evil shit. She's literally the reason why Rosaria falls. She's the reason why Clive becomes a slave. She's the reason why Joshua, not directly, but she basically is the cause of it. Because her whole betrayal led to, what was it, the Phoenix Gate, right? I think that was the name of it. And basically that whole situation came down and they all got attacked. And Joshua turns into the Phoenix and Clive turns into Ifrit. He didn't know it. Accidentally kills Joshua, and that whole situation goes down. She indirectly killed the one thing she was trying to take with her, is to increase her social standings. And it's like, why? I'll tell you why. It's because Annabella cares about nobody but herself and her social standing. As you already know and figured out at this point, she only cares about pure blood. If you're not a pure blood noble, she doesn't care about you. Clive is a failure in her eyes. She didn't even agree with the way Archduke Erwin was basically trying to help him free bearers and make a better world. She didn't care about it. All she cared about social standing. She don't care about the people. She don't care about kingdom. All that matters as long as pure blood exists. From her standpoint, they can always make another kingdom. They can always have another child. They can always start over. You know, and that mindset, it was a dangerous one. A very dangerous one. Because this is what led to these exact decisions that have been made here. All the destruction she caused, all the betrayal. She didn't care about nobody but herself. Her whole purpose in this and betraying was literally just to get rid of Archduke and then take Joshua with her. And then that backfired in her face when she realized Josh was dead. Clive is still alive, barely, I guess you could say. He just got lucky at that whole point from her point of view. And then she takes him in and sells him off as a soldier because she remembers, because of Archduke Erwin's words, that he said that Clive will make a good soldier when he get older. And literally, if it weren't for that, he probably would have died on the spot. It's crazy when you think about it. It's like she only kept Clive around for the fact he saved him at this exact moment right here, only because it's like she lost Joshua. From her point of view, well, she might as well make use of at least one of the sons that she has, so even if he's not the one that she wanted or like at all. And I can't even imagine from Clive's perspective how that must have felt all his life. Clive, the way he grew up, the way he felt most of his life, maybe he felt like he was never good enough. And this is all because of Annabella. She literally put this trauma on my boy. Like, she genuinely just made my boy pretty fucked up from childhood. She never loved him. He knew she didn't love him. She didn't even respect him. She didn't even acknowledge him. And that's how you know, like, and at that point, you gotta hate Annabella. Because, like, what mother treats their own child that way? Like, this some cold shit. Like, look at that, bro. First thing she says is kill him, and then when she realized she could make a profit off of him, that's the only when she realized she could make a profit off of him, and I had to repeat it just so you understand, that's when she decides to save him, because she remembered that he's good at a sword. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. This scene captures it well. All in its right place. She always, that's like her go-to saying right there, boy. Can't have no witnesses. Clean. Got them gone. You know, like that takes some real cruel, evil shit right there. And the crazy thing about this whole situation is that you could be like, some people might think like Ultima may have some influence. Nah, that wasn't no Ultima influence. Ultima didn't have to influence her. I don't believe Ultima had to influence her at all. This is who Annabella is, and that's what makes her truly more evil. Honestly, she's definitely could have, in my opinion, I feel like she would have made a better villain for this game than Ultima. I mean, Ultima's cool. I don't hate Ultima, but I do feel like that as overall, Annabella would have made a better villain, because the way she just planned things out, the means that she would go through to get what she wants and how she want it, she'll do anything. And like, the reason I say that is because why I don't like Ultima like that. I don't per se super hate Ultima. What he's doing wasn't right, but I don't hate Ultima on the level I hate Annabella. I hate Annabella. I don't like her. I want her dead. I want to kill her. In fact, in my opinion, I don't think her death was good enough. In the end, I think it's fitting for her, to be honest, but I still don't think it's good enough, honestly. That's just my personal vendetta, because honestly, I just want to see Clive kill her. That's just what I wanted to see. She deserved it in the end of the day, but we're going to get more on that topic. Right now, let's get to the time scale that basically happened. I think it was like a 5-year time scale. We get to this point where Annabella and the king now have a child named Oliver, which is basically Dion's stepbrother, alright? Well, half brother, I guess you kind of say. And it's going ahead and gets really confusing when you first play through, because you're wondering what's going on and who's the child and everything. And as you can see, the Annabella, for her means to become higher in the social standing, and possibly, or her goal in the end of the day, is become a queen as a whole. Well, technically she is now, because she's married to the imperial king. So that whole situation is going on. Oliver, we have that going on, and we have Annabella still plotting, still trying to raise her social standing. She is far from done, alright? She's still ruining people's lives. She killed thousands at this point, because all of Rosaria basically falls. All the blood that fell on Rosaria falls into her hands. She killed all the men and women there. Well, actually, I take that back. She killed all the men there. The men basically all dead. Iron Knights did it, but, you know, she basically played a part into it. He might as well say that blood's all on her hands. So all the men died, and then the women were taken into the fire mother with that crazy religious cult place where all the women and children were taken, and Jill also ended up there. Jill was also a slave for the Iron Kingdom, and she basically worked in the same position as the rest of the women that was taken from the Rosaria Kingdom. Of course, that was until she awakened as a dominant, and they used her as a war weapon against the Damakis. I want to say that's how you say it. And then they were going to war, and basically, which led to the beginning of the game. You saw that was Titan versus Shiva. It's not like she wanted to participate at. She was done against her will. That was using kids against her. It's a pretty fucked up situation, honestly. But back to Annabella, though. Annabella is literally the cause of some of shit. Like I said, if it weren't for Annabella, Clive nor Jill nor Joshua would have ended up in the face they ended up in. But yet, she led them all down that path. And it's very ironic in its own way how she wanted it all, and she had it all. She had two dominants, Now, she might not have known about Clive, but had enough time passed, maybe sooner or later he might have started showing signs of Ifrit in that whole situation. Like, that probably would have showed up eventually, but she was impatient. She wanted more. She wanted it fast. She was greedy. So here we are instead, in the future, where she basically became married to the king, had a child named Oliver, and Dion here is not happy with what's currently going on because the way the Empire is basically treating these people. It's treating these people terribly, and people suffering. So much is going on. All Dion wanted to do is protect his people, protect his king, protect the people who make the kingdom what it is. That's just what Dion wants to do. But he's realizing, and he's realizing really fast, that the root of the problem isn't the king himself. Which, well, I'm not gonna say that. He plays some fucked up shit too. He's played this role in the treatment of how bearers are right now. So I ain't gonna say he's completely innocent, to be honest. Matter of fact, actually, now I think about it more and more, he's actually pretty fucking guilty too. So fuck him as well. Also, with the whole situation going on with Annabella, you know, her whispering into everyone's ears and telling them sweet words of what they should and shouldn't do, that's go to show you how much influence that she got just that quickly. Like, she already rose up in that sort of status in a matter of 5 years. She did it in 5 years. Can you imagine what Annabella would have been able to do if given her something like 10 years? She probably would have been on had full control of the kingdom. I'm not kidding when I say that. She would have had full control of the kingdom. Oliver would probably been close to being king, if not already crowned king at that point. It's a whole situation going on here. You got Dion, who's literally seeing the true colors of Annabella, and no one else seems to see it because all of them are just fucking blind for some odd reason, or they're just too scared to really say anything. I think it's the latter, but Dion's not happy. He's pretty pissed. He's realizing something must be changed. And Dion, you know, he takes it at first, alright? He takes his orders because his father's the king. You know, he's trying to do the best he can. He wants to help with his father. He wants to help for the kingdom. He'll do whatever it takes, even if it means doing things he does not like doing. But Dion, of course, is gonna, you know, eventually lead to him doing some things that he might not be the proudest of, you know, in current day. But Annabella just chilling, bro. Like, she's just watching this shit going down with a smile on her face. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, she said she's swearing she got this whole plan in the bag. She got this whole thing laid out. She gonna have it all played out. Oliver's born. Oliver's already here. Alright, so he's gonna become king eventually. She just need to raise him. She feels he's gonna be a dominant. And by the way, I don't even think he showed any potential of being that dominant. So I don't even think he ever showed any potential to dominate at all. Technically, because he was ultimate, so he's never gonna be a dominant anyway. That was a whole lie. That was situation. And then we get to this scene here where we see where Annabella finally tries to break Dion by telling the truth of Dion's origins. If you guys don't know that, if you play the game, you learn that basically Dion is not, his mother is not of a noble blood. His father is the king, so technically it's like he's not really per se full pure blood noble from Annabella's perspective. You know, before, I think, if I recall correctly, Dion is the only child, so he would have become king. That's how it would have went. But with Oliver in the picture now being a pure blood noble, now things are shaking up. And basically now Oliver becomes a king instead of Dion because he's the pure blood. Dion's on the half blood. And Annabella definitely does not like anything like a half blood. You can see how of a pure she is when it comes to that pure noble blood shit, bro. She's obsessed with it, bro. If you're a half blood, get up out of here. You're nothing. You're nothing to her. You're trash. You're garbage. You're nothing but a means to an end. It's, from her perspective, Dion's no more than a weapon. She needs the will to fire her enemies to get rid of them if they try to challenge her. And that's exactly how she wished to use Dion, as a weapon. But Dion's loyalty to the kingdom is too strong, and he would never try to defy the kingdom. And Annabella just kept taunting Dion, bro. She just kept taunting him. She kept pushing that lever just a little bit more. She just kept pushing it because she knew that she can do it and Dion would do nothing. But as we already know, that no matter how reserved a person may be, if you push a person, even the most quietest and nicest person you know in your life, you keep pushing them hard enough, and you keep pushing and pushing, eventually they're going to push back. There's no such thing as a person who's just not going to never push back. You just got to give someone that edge, all right? You just got to keep pushing them to the point where it's like they have no choice but to push back. And Annabella thought she had complete control of Dion because of the whole knowing his origins, and I think she had already started telling some people the kingdom about his origins as well. So she's trying to basically seize complete control of the kingdom, and Dion knows this. Dion wants to get rid of her, but as the king, his father, he can't really say nothing. But as time go on, we will see that was a big mistake for Annabella. She will realize sooner or later it was a huge mistake, because this is where it leads her. Now we have a Bahamut who's out of control, who's basically destroying the very kingdom that he was supposed to protect. Dion lost complete control of Bahamut, and here she is hiding away like she ain't done a damn thing in the world. That's Annabella for you though. Causes a scene, makes destruction wherever she goes, and it's always gonna follow behind her. And Clive finally meets her for the first time ever since the day of King's Landing. That was the name of the place, huh? King's Landing. Just remembered it. Now, you know, we getting this final confrontation. I was hoping that Clive would just go ahead and cut her down right here and now, but, you know, that was just my personal take on the whole situation. I honestly hated her. And at this point in the game, I wanted her gone. Alright, I wanted her dead. And that's why I think right here that Clive is really always trying to look for the best in people. And I always respected that about Clive. He's just trying to do the best he can and try to look for the best in others. And Clive, even at this point, still asking her, why did she do what she did? Why did she betray Rosaria? Why did she betray his father? Why did she betray the people? And this right here shows you everything you need to know about Annabella. She doesn't care about the people. She doesn't care about the kingdom. All she cares about the bloodline. And she literally says that as long as the bloodline remains unbroken, what does it matter if a kingdom falls? They can just start all over again. She thinks she done her job by basically giving birth to Joshua, and then she thought she started over and gave birth to another pure-blooded noble, so she's supposed to have done her job, and that was it. That's all she's supposed to do, basically just give birth to another noble, and that's her greatest accomplishment in life. That's her greatest goal in life, and becoming a queen that lives in the highest social standard in the world. But what Annabella fails to realize is that, honestly, that doesn't matter at the end of the day, because what's a kingdom without its people? And what's the point of a noble bloodline with no kingdom? And Annabella just fails to see that vision. And as we can see, this is where we truly start seeing Annabella descent towards that point of madness, I can probably say. You can start to see that she's already on edge. She's seen Clive for the first time in 5 years. She thought that Clive would be dead at this point. She thought Joshua would be dead at this point when she finally sees him as well. And this whole situation, she's still holding on to what happened 5 years ago, wondering why the Phoenix didn't choose Clive. She's been holding on to that for a long time now. Then we got Annabella starts blaming Clive and the Archduke, basically saying that they put too much burden on Joshua and blamed them for his death, which is crazy. It's actually crazy. Blame. He was the shield for Joshua. His job was supposed to protect Joshua. How do you think he felt when Joshua was dead? How do you think he felt when Joshua was gone? He realized he failed his job. More than anybody, Clive felt the heaviest weight when it came down to learning that Joshua was gone. When he thought Joshua was dead, bro, he literally just didn't know what to do with himself. He became lost than he ever has been ever in his life. And yet, she still couldn't see what was right in front of her the whole time. The Phoenix was outside fighting Bahamut, and she still was sitting here living in her own delusional world of my son, my Oliver, pure blood, social standings. Like, bro, what more do we need to say? Annabella was just cruel, evil, didn't care about her own children, did everything she could for her own power and gain. Joshua here fighting for his life. He's trying to help out other people. They're doing good for the world. She was too good to be their mother anyway, but she didn't deserve Clyde nor Joshua. She didn't deserve the GL either. She didn't deserve any of them, nor the Archduke. It was all too good for her. Had it been anybody else, the Archduke had married and possibly had children. It might not have been Clyde but Joshua, but maybe those kids' life would have been, you know, just a little bit more better. At least they would have had a mother love. Joshua and Clyde may not have that, but they made the best of what they did have, and they made sure to soar through the skies with it and show the better tomorrow. Annabella been out here a whole hoe and just trying to make more children for our noble bloodline, pure bloodline. Like, bro, like, what is she like? What is she even? I imagine how stupid she must feel to realize these kids grew up to be so great, so strong, and only to realize how much she gave up. And she thinks that Oliver can make up for what she lost. She continues to live in this crazy fantasy delusion of pure blood nobles is what's going to really lead the world to the future. That her bloodline is the future, this and that. And it's time she finally starts waking up and see the reality that's in front of her. Is that the kingdom's done for. The imperial court's done for. all of that is done for. There's nothing to really keep her still doing this whole pure blood thing. And the funny thing about this situation is that honestly, this whole moment of him killing Oliver and her basically descending into complete madness because she couldn't live with the idea of the one thing she thought she done right in the world was completely gone, and it wasn't real to begin with. She tried so hard to make things right, try to become a queen, have her social standards in the world, and now she feels like it's all falling apart. It's crazy because it's like Annabella was really smart. It's not like she was stupid. She was smart, but fucking arrogant to no end. That pride and that arrogance is literally got her in this position. It got her to this point. It also led her to her downfall as well. And now she literally couldn't cope with what she had done, realizing that Joshua, Clive, and Jill are all dominants, and then realizing as well that their potential is through the roof. Now she has to come to terms with what she had and what she lost. And Oliver was never real, and now she's also having to accept that reality. And also the fact that Dion, she had a stepson who was also dominant and didn't even take advantage of that. And also basically, it's like, bro, how many times can you fumble? I think the fucked up part about the whole thing of Annabella and all the cruel she's done to Clive, to Jill, to so many others, is that she always got what she wanted. You know, Clive was a slave, and then Jill was a slave. But what did Annabella get? Become a goddamn queen and have a child with a king? Like, bro, that's fucked. Like, that's some fucked up shit. Like, if that's not some fucked up shit, I don't know what is. She don't deserve any of that. She hated Clive because Clive was born and not being a dominant. She didn't even give Clive a chance to try to prove himself to her. He didn't give a chance. She gave him a chance to do nothing. She hated him for the moment she learned that he wasn't a dominant. It's one thing to hate one individual, you know, but it's another to hate them just for being who they are. She hated Clive for being who he is. She hated Clive because he wasn't exactly what she wanted him to be, instead of what he could have been. He could have turned out to being a great soldier. He could have turned out to being the best knight of Rosaria. He could have been a great knight for Joshua. But she didn't see the potential in any of that. She didn't care about any of that. All she cared about was a social standing. All she cared about was a dominant. That's all she cared about, because all she wanted to be was financially secure. And it's not like the Archduke of Rosaria didn't know. He definitely knew. He knew about her personality. He knew what kind of person she was. It was so obvious. There's no way you can hang around a person like Annabella and not know what kind of person she is. I hate her. I hate her so much. I fucking despise her. She's literally the worst qualities of a human being packaged into one character. That is who Annabella is. Annabella is the worst of the worst. It's one thing for Ultima, but it's another thing for Annabella. And the crazy thing about a lot of things that people done in this game, like Koopa, Benedicta, and then also it was another one. What's bro name? King Barnabas. There's a whole lot of people who done a lot of shit and fucked up evil shit, and most of it was all done the influence of Ultima. Annabella didn't need no influence. The evil that was in her heart was always there. That is who Annabella is. That's who she is. That's honestly who she is. That's the most saddest shit, evilest shit ever. You can see it how you gotta see it, like, because you don't even need no influence of an evil god to make you evil. You're just this cruel and fucked up of a person to begin with. A classist bitch who don't give a fuck about anybody else but herself in a fucking pure bloodline. I swear, bro, I wish somebody would have just... I wish somebody would have just took her head off a lot earlier in the game. I really want this bitch dead. But now that I think about it, earlier I did say that she had no influence from Ultima. But maybe in her last moments, maybe that was the final push that Ultima just gave her. I won't say that Ultima was the influence of her, all her actions up to this point. But I think that moment when she definitely killed herself, that is basically was kind of Ultima, because she did say she was seeing ghosts and shit, so I feel like that could have definitely influenced and had a part into it all. So maybe that was Ultima's doing, but still, I mean, it's not like it really matters. She was evil as shit anyway. The craziest thing about this whole situation with Annabella is that she's not even per se ugly. Honestly, when it came down to looks, Annabella's not bad looking at all, honestly. When your personality is the same color as tire streets on a goddamn road, then honestly, what more do you really expect from an individual like that? No matter how good one person looks, when your personality is absolute disgusting shit that I wouldn't even want to step on by accident, nor do I ever want to be near it, then yeah, honestly, looks are going out the fucking window because you are a terrible person and you deserve to face the punishment that's coming towards you. So at the end of the day, whether she was really influenced at the end by Ultima to kill herself, or whether she just couldn't live with everything she done to kill herself, either way, found it good for me because I was satisfied in my own little way. I mean, I wasn't completely satisfied because I still wanted Clive to do it and kill her, but you know, we all can't get all W's in our own way, right? Sometimes we gotta take our W's as they come. And Annabella, I just wanted her to suffer in the worst way possible. And if anything, I honestly kind of wish she got locked up instead, and wish she would have tried to like go to some torture and have her kind of like had to go through a redemption, something like that. But then again, I take that back because I don't think there's no redemption for a person like her. The amount of shit she done, I don't think there's no changing an individual like that. Actually, I don't want her to change because all the shit she done, she deserves to suffer. She should stay who she is. She should be and live to who she is and how she's been all this time. There's no need to change now. Because being evil is what she's been all this time. Being selfish, being a classist bitch, being all the above, you name it. I got so many descriptions that could come for it. I'm not even gonna go too deep into it because I'll be here all goddamn day. As you can see here in this scene, this is when Annabella realized she fucked up. She truly fucked up. She thought Dion would never cross the line of trying to attack her son, provoking him. Obviously, at this point, this is Ultima doing the talking now because she kind of lost her mind. The king's dead. She realizing her plans are falling apart because things ain't going her way. Honestly, there was a lot of potential for Annabella to become a great villain in this game. And like, I'm talking about some old Annabella would have really worked with Ultima. I'm not kidding. I believe that could have really worked out in its own little way. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how that would really turn out, but I'll be interested to see that. Honestly, they should have done more with her character. She was a character that has way too much potential as a villain. That could have just been like, yeah, Annabella was their mother, but at the end of the day, Annabella becomes something so much more dangerous, something so much out of control, so much more evil than anybody could have ever imagined when they knew her from the past and how much she's changed and how much has happened. Now I'm wondering about it. What would Joshua had done had they say Annabella? Was they just gonna take her with them and try to? Nah, I want to redeem her. She's irredeemable. I know I proposed it earlier, but I just came to the full conclusion. Like, yeah, she's irredeemable, bro. There's no way. Like, there's no coming back from that. Best scenario, in my opinion, would be throw her in a prison and just let her rot there. And hopefully maybe she'll come to terms with her own, but she shouldn't have no forgiveness for anybody, especially not Clive or Jill. She sold both of them off to slavery. I don't want to hear any shit, no forgiveness for any of them, either one of them. They should never forgive someone who do some shit like that, especially Clive. Clive has been mistreated by her all his life. She's the greatest source of his trauma, if not anything else in his life that has happened. He experienced a lot of bad things in his life, but the shit that his mother put him through is probably got to be number one. It's probably got to be number one, hands down. Like, this situation right here, this moment right here, Joshua tried to take her and save her. I mean, honestly, they didn't want to leave her to fall to the rumble because they always try to help people, but that was the one person they should have left behind. Honestly, but it's understandable because it's still, at the end of the day, from Joshua's perspective, it's his mother. Alright, his mother has always been very caring for Joshua, at least between the two brothers. And this is the moment where Joshua truly realized, like, it's too late for her. Like, there's no reasoning, there's no trying to talk her out of it, there's no none of it. Couldn't live with the guilt and what your actions, and what do? You off yourself. Actually coward way to take yourself out, but hey, I guess that's satisfactory in its own little way. But I wish she would have had lived to suffer, honestly. I wish she could have lived for people had just like done some kind of stone ritual and shit. Like just stone the shit out of her. Or just go suffer to something so much more traumatic. Because I just want to see her suffer, honestly. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I just want to see her suffer because I think she just kind of got it too easy. For all the shit she's done, all the people she killed, all the people she's lied, she ruined, she got it out too easy. With all that being said, though, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video, outside the video. Tell me in the comment section below and tell me what is your favorite villain from Final Fantasy 16, and did you hate Annabelle as much as I did? Because I despised her, and only my despise grew more playing it through again and realizing, yeah, I fucking hate this bitch. And I just kind of had to get this off my chest. So on Spectrum.